I don't know if I'll even post this video. I think I just want to get this all out of my head. But maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Obviously, you know the news. Charlie Kirk was murdered yesterday. I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I'm going to say this flat out. I am not a fan of him at all. That being said, he shouldn't be murdered for exercising the First Amendment. And I think it's a bigger picture of what the hell are we doing in this country? Whether that's just the way we deal with politics, the way we deal with each other, the way the media manipulates, the way that we can't, we as humans aren't designed to be bombarded with the information we are bombarded with. As I sit here on social media creating more information, I see the fucking irony in that. You know, we're bombarded with information and algorithms that are set up to create an echo chamber to hear what we want to hear and to only see like-minded things and believe that we're all left lunatics or we're right lunatics. And we lose sight of the fact that we're all kind of in this experiment of democracy together, because everything is set up for giant corporations to make profit by dividing us. I think part of the problem is you see something like Charlie Kirk gets murdered and here I am, another person making content to talk about it. But who talked about the politicians in Minneapolis who some guy dressed up as a police officer and murdered them? There wasn't much talk about that. That lasted like a day. Not even. So I think also part of the problem is the both sidesism. I just did the both sidesism. It's all fucking bad right now. And we need to do a better job. We need to be better. You know, as somebody who watched being September 11th, I watched it on TV, live happening, right? It was surreal. I can remember almost everything that happened that day. I know the night before I went to a hockey game with, at the time, who was my best friend, who came back from the Navy, had time off from the Navy. Went to a hockey game, we went downtown drinking, and we went to a party that we were at a bar, and people were like, the party's going on here. We went to the party, and we eventually got kicked out because no one knew who we were, and we didn't know who they were. It just seems like now we're at like that same level of chaos, I guess. But we didn't have social media to force feed us algorithms of outrage 24/7. And I've already seen where, you know, Fox News is like, they're coming to kill us. Well, who are they, for one? We don't know who the guy is who murdered Charlie Kirk. I don't want to see now, because a political commentator who says shitty things about people being treated like he's a hero because he was murdered. Because he was murdered probably for the shit he says. But then at the same time, he has the right to say that shit and shouldn't be murdered for it. It's confusing. It's weird. But the answer isn't going to be more violence. The answer isn't saying it's Civil War time. The answer isn't having the news people get on there and say they're coming to kill us, which is just feeding more back into that machine. You know, there was a school shooting yesterday. Where was that information? You know, where was that? No one said a word. Another one. I think there's been 50 or so this year already. I think as a society, we need to do better. We don't need, like, I don't think I know. We need to do better. We need to stop the us versus them. The red versus blue, the right versus left. Because we're in a weird, weird time. This timeline is screwed up. And I'm going to say it. It's, in my opinion, yes, I said it's social media and it's bad leadership from our government. And that is 4 years of Donald Trump, 4 years of Joe Biden, and now whatever it is, 10 months of Donald Trump again. There's no leadership. There's no direction. And no one's bringing us together. Nothing's bringing us together. People in America do violence. It doesn't matter who they voted for. It's on both sides. This is people's. You can even see it like when the thing with the lady, the guy who got the foul ball and gave it to his kid, and some fucking lady comes up and she wants it. It's hers. And then there's another video of a man ripping a baseball out of the hands of an old man. Like, it's not just in our politics. It's in everything. We need fundamental change of how we treat each other. Part of also the problem is stop making politics your fucking personality. Get a hobby. And don't monetize your hobby. I don't know. I'm just upset. I'm upset with like just the way the world is. It's all too much. Too much anxiety. Too much stress. We need to be a better society. We need to be better to each other. We need to have better open communication and back and forth instead of, I don't agree with what you're saying, so, you're my enemy. We need to look at ourselves as a country as a whole and find a way to heal. Something's got to change. We need to change. We need to change before it gets worse. And my fear is it gets worse. I don't know. Next week, this video will be better. So, go, create.